These are two slightly different sets of bevel gears. One of them was modeled by hand, the other was generated with Fusion 360 plugin. Let's go over both methods and see if modeling effort is worth the result. Despite modeling being much harder to understand, I'll start with this method because it allows me to explain some fundamental concepts. And let's start with the module. It's a value that standardizes gear sizings. Here are two identical gears. The left has 1mm module, the right has a 2mm module. The number of teeth is equal, but their diameters and teeth sizes differs by twice. That means that if you are tight in space, you can lower the module. But if your application experiences heavy loads, you can increase the module for better reliability. In this tutorial, I'll go with 2mm module for better visualization. I'm adding it to the parameters along with the tooth count for the bevel gears. One gear has 12 tooths and the other has 24. Let's start with a new sketch. Add a rectangle from the center point. To specify the size for gears, select one line and set the dimension equal to the module multiplied by tooth count, which is 24, and then divided by 2, since the rectangle sides represent the radius, not the diameters. Do the same operation for the other side. Module multiplied by 12 and divided by 2. Next, add the diagonal line. Once it's done, finish the sketch. And now we need to revolve two triangles. Select the revolve tool, the profile, and this axis. Instead of new body, I'm selecting new component, which gives me the bull gear component. Do the same for the second cone, which will be the pinion gear. Revolve, select axis, new component. And these two cones are actually what bevel gears are. If you look closely at bevel gear, you'll notice that the teeth point towards a single point, the apex. Moreover, if I draw shafts, they'll meet at the same point. The line where cones touch each other is called the line of action. If I cut the cones, we get a more familiar geometry. But note that the contact surface is smaller, meaning each tooth will experience a larger load, but now we have a room for gear mounting. Currently the cones are built using pitch diameters, which don't represent any physical dimensions. To fix that, I open the previous sketch. Draw a line from the bottom point with a length of 1.25 multiplied by module, which is standard value for the distance from the pitch diameter to inner diameter. Make this line perpendicular to the action line and connect it to the apex. Next, to form gear mount base, I'm adding one more line which is also perpendicular to action line. Connect it with the center line and close profiled. Place the dimension, let's say 5 mm, and do the same drawing for the pinion gear. After finishing the sketch, we need to fix some warnings. Click Edit feature on the revolves and update the profile with the new sketch. Until done, we get cones that actually represent the physical dimensions. The huge bonus of modeling by hand that you can tweak the module and tooth count to achieve the desired gear size, just like I did in previous video with belts and pulleys. Speaking about downsides, we still need to model the tooth profile, and that's an extremely complex area. Fortunately, with an approach called Tredgold's Approximation, we can simplify the process a lot. Skipping the boring part, it basically says that if we extend perpendicular lines from the action line until they intersect with the shafts and then build spur gears with the same module and pitch diameter, the spur gear tooth profile are good approximation for bevel gear tooth profiles. Let's do this for the bull gear first, so everything becomes clear. Draw a perpendicular line from the action line to the center and connect it to the cone. After adding the dimension, you most likely get a fractional value for the pitch radius. Plugging this number into the formula gives you a fractional tooth count as well, which doesn't make sense. What we need to do is round the tooth count up for the bull gear and round it down for the pinion, which gives us with a new pitch radius. Next, I'm opening the spur gear generator. I select the module we used and tooth count from the calculations. I don't care about gear thickness and hole diameter. For backlash, I'll go with 10% of module, which is 0.2 mm. Once it's done, we need to remove extra elements, since we are interested only in a single tooth profile. Select the newly created gear component, expand the group in timeline, and delete everything except the tooth sketch and the extrusion. Now create a new sketch and draw a horizontal line from the origin. Its length should be equal to the pitch radius of the spur gear. Select the Align tool. The from point is the one we just drew, and the to point is the end of the action line. It's really important to see the plane perpendicular to the action line. Like this. By clicking angle of flip, you can rotate the tooth. The goal is to get it to the position you see on the screen. Once it's done, select the Loft tool. Choose the tooth profile and the apex, and create a new body. Then use a circular pattern to populate the newly created tooth. Select the center line and the number of teeth. Before we join everything together, let's trim the teeth and the cone. I'm opening the original sketch, and using line, I'm connecting the two inner diameters. Make the line perpendicular to the action line and connect it to the center lines of the cones. Now I can set the distance here, which gives me the tooth length. Save the sketch, use Revolve and select the new profiles. Set the operation to cut. Make sure the pinion body is unchecked if it's visible. Now I can combine all teeth together using Combine tool. Select the gear body and all teeth. Lastly, I want to get rid of these ugly leftover pieces. Open the sketch again and draw a triangle. Revolve it and perform one more cut. And we ended up with the first bevel gear. Now let's do the same for the pinion. I'm connecting the action line point with the gear center line. Then I'm using the same calculations, but now I'm rounding the tooth count down and I get 13 teeth. Open the spur gear generator and create the gear. Then expand the group and remove everything we are not interested in. When gear component is active, draw a line from the center and use the 30 mm pitch radius from the calculations. Next, I place the tooth with the Align tool. Most likely, you'll see it has some floating areas. This doesn't affect the mesh at all, so I simply extend the bottom face with the Press Pull tool. Now do the loft. Select the profile and the apex. After that, we can populate the teeth with a circular pattern. Cut the extra lengths and use the same triangle to clean up the leftover parts. And here we go. Let's slightly rotate the pinion gear. The angle is 360 divided by tooth count multiplied by 2. If I create plane along the action line and then enable section analysis, we can actually observe the gears mesh, which honestly is really good. But we are here not only to inspect the model. Behind the scene, I've added a small bracket and a connection to the motor, so let's print it and test it in real life. I can't say the gears are perfect, but even without lubrication they works pretty well, except for a small vibration that's visible only because the bracket is too light. Using the plugin is much simpler than actual modeling. There are not many parameters you can control, only the module, pressure angle and the number of teeth. When gears are added, I just rotate them and place their apex to the apex I drew during modeling. And as you can see at first glance, they are almost identical, the only difference in the teeth length, which is a bit longer in the new gears. It's not a problem at all since you can easily cut them. But what worries me is a backlash, which is impossible to control, and it looks very tight to me. Anyway, let's print the same setup and see the gears in action. And to be honest, I didn't spot any difference. Maybe, on some intuition level, I like the generated gears a bit more, and I can't explain why. I assume that plastic quality and print precision makes a bigger impact than the modeling method. In any case, now you know a bit more and can bring Bevel gears into your project.